Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum. Today is Friday, January 10th, 2020. Let's take a look at our solar wind speeds sitting at 483.5 kilometers per second with a density of 1.4. And yesterday we were talking about that sunspot that was on the far western limb turning away from Earth in the northern hemisphere. That is now labeled AR 2756. It is sunspot number 14, still a small sunspot, but nonetheless a sunspot. That's 0 days without sunspots and 1 for the year so far. Our TCI is at 2.86 and our KP indices sitting at a 2 with a 24-hour max of a 3. And we are expecting solar winds from the coronal hole that is now almost Earth-facing in the northern hemisphere and also Earth-facing directly. There's small coronal holes that could affect Earth's magnetic field as well in or around January 14th, 2020. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at All right, let's take a look at watchers.com real quick, watchers.news, I should say. We had a pretty big explosion yesterday at the Popocatepetl volcano. In fact, strong explosion at 37,000 feet. This strong explosion took place at Mexico's Popocatepetl volcano at 12:31 UTC time on January 9th, 2020. At least 2 volcanic ash clouds were produced today with initial rising of 37,000 feet above sea level. And I should say this was yesterday. The second one went as far as 30,000 feet. Alert level is remained at yellow, phase 2, the middle of 3 color scale. So, and here's some pictures of the eruption, and that is quite the eruption. We haven't seen one like this in a little while. It's been a bit. We've had some 15,000 feet and 20,000 feet, but this one here reaching almost 40,000 feet, and then the second one just over 30,000 feet after that eruption. And you can see better on these maps too, the difference in how much saturation ash plume goes into the atmosphere. So good work here, Watchers.news. And again, 37,000 foot ash plume and then a 30,000 foot after that. So we had 2 big explosions yesterday at the Popocatepetl. All right, let's take a look at our weather now. Taking a look at our folks at the UK and Ireland and most of Europe here. Move this up a little bit so we can get our friends in France in the picture. Right now we got rain showers moving out of Denmark. Parts of Germany experiencing some rain showers. The far western coast of Ireland now starting to see some rain showers, but that is heading northeast. So far dry at the moment. And let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast for the UK today. It's going to be dry, mostly sunshine, but perhaps feeling a little chilly in the southeast, becoming cloudier and windier later in the northwest of the UK with rain arriving into the evening. Tonight, rain gradually spreading southwards into Saturday with strong winds, particularly North Wales, Northeast England and East Scotland. Also, little if any rain in the east and south, mainly mild. Again, Saturday, rain in the west and northwest moving slowly with some clear, colder conditions arriving in the far northwest later. Winds also gradually easing from the north. Southeast will be staying dry. And let's go ahead and look at quickly at our weather for the UK flood alerts. See if we have anything to speak of at this moment. And yes, yesterday we have a little bit more flood alerts than we did yesterday. 4 flood warnings at this time, and 48 flood alerts, 25 that has been canceled at this time as well. All right, guys, let's go over and jump and take a look at our radar here in the US before we take a look at our weather. And I wanted to start with this right here. Today is going to be the hot spot of action. We are going to see rain develop across the area around 1 p.m. today, 12 to 1. Some severe weather in the beginning today will be right in this area right here, some strong storms, and then rapidly in the afternoon we'll see a strong line of storms develop right in this area and head eastward. So possibility of strong thunderstorms, tornadoes are even possible today as well. But today we're mainly watching this part of Texas today, Dallas, Fort Worth, McKinney, Denton, Plano. What do you want, Bella? Come on. I'm doing a show here. Let's knock it off. But mainly right in this area where we're going to see the beginning of this severe threat start at the beginning of our day, heading into the evening tonight at 7 p.m. There should be more severe weather in this area. So that was the first place I wanted to kind of keep our eyes on at first. Now, let's take a look at the rest of the United States. Rain developing across the Ohio Valley, Indiana, Illinois, and also snow in South Dakota and Nebraska. And I feel like I'm on repeat here with myself, but Seattle looking at snow and rain once again today in the Northwest. But interesting stuff happening over here in the Northeast. We got rain on the way. We got freezing precipitation in New York right now. If you live in Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, Cleveland, endless rain showers for several hours today is on the way. Now, the frozen precipitation that's falling in New York right now, Syracuse, Utica, and upper parts in the upstate regions, that will all change to rain at some point today as temperatures are expected to rise. They are cold right now. Yesterday we had a high of 23 in the upstate area, but that will change as this system here basically is riding on a ridge, and the warmer air is to the south of this system. So it's basically it's going to run into a lot of warmer air. This is all going to change to rain at some point. Let's take a look at our watch box right now. Flood alerts all over the Midwest right now, folks. Winter storm warnings on the back end of the flood watches, but mainly you see where the flood warnings are. Be prepared today, folks. We are going to see some tricky weather here in the next couple of days across the Northwest, across the Midwest, into the Ohio Valley, and into the Northeast as well. So let's take a look at some of our weather forecasts. What does NOAA have to say about the next couple of days? Well, let's find out. First, let's take a look at our wind chills. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, a little out of it today, guys. Apologize. Wind chills, pretty cold in the northern plains. Negative 25 in parts of North Dakota. That's pretty cold. Negative teens also in the northwest corner of Minnesota. And just flat out cold in the northern plain states. The Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, southeast, that's where the warm air is. And also, that is where we're going to see, so you could pretty much tell right along the line where the freezing wind chills are is where the rain snow line is as well. Let's take a look at our highs for today. Pretty common. There's our frost freeze line. Again, that ridge setting up pretty nicely. Highs today, nice in the south. Winter in the northern plains for sure. Mild conditions in the west coast and in the northeast. For this time of year, that's mild. Here's our low temperatures for tonight. Still pretty comfortable for most of us here, Illinois and eastward. But if you live behind that, it's going to be pretty frigid in the northern plains once again tonight. And here's what NOAA thinks is going to happen here in the next 3 days. Let's take a look at this. Severe thunderstorms today, like I said, Dallas, Fort Worth. You guys are definitely on the bullseye today. Snow in the rest of the country on the western half, the northwest. Freezing rain. There is a slight icing effect that could happen, folks. And we're looking at it right where you see the purple area shaded. We're talking about 1/10 to maybe 2/10 of an inch of ice. Nothing serious, but a long range of area at this point is going to expect ice. Now, here we are into Saturday, and you see that system is slowly moving over to the east. The severe weather threat moves to Alabama and Georgia and parts of Mississippi. Out of Texas, the snow ice line is still almost in the same exact areas, but up there at the top, guys, where the purple shading for the rain is, and I apologize, I don't have my arrow up here, but we are looking at, this is the area in the freezing rain where the lines are in the purple. That's where we're looking at the icing. It could be 1/10 of an inch or less. Some isolated areas could end up with a little bit more as well. but nothing too serious at this point. And then we look at day 3, which is Sunday. Snow pretty much blankets the most part of the northern part of the United States. Freezing precipitation, and then a cold front comes in on Sunday, putting most of us, if there's any more moisture on the way, well, it could be in the shape of frozen sleet or snow coming up soon. Easy for me to say. Heavy snow in the northwest on Sunday as well for Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana. So it's things to look out there. And let's go ahead and take a look at what Tropical Tidbits has got to say over the next several days. First of all, let's take a look at the snowpack. This is all the way to January 26th. So winter is coming, folks. And especially if you live in the Northeast, well, we could be seeing quite a bit of snow, especially in Maine. There's parts of northern Maine that are calling for 55 inches of snow over the next 2 weeks. Here in New York, I know we're expecting close to 30 inches. So let's get right at it. Here's the GFS. All that rain, that severe weather, there you see it developing right there. And moving on out as we get to this Saturday, this weekend, that rain and snow ice line, very defined. Again, this area right here, from here all the way through this area, right on the edge where I'm talking about, that's where we're looking for the ice storm. But again, it's not going to be terrible, but it could get heavy in certain spots. But lots of moisture, lots of rain moving through the area. Heavy rainfall on the Mississippi. And again, we've already talked about flooding conditions. Some of these rivers are near flood stage right now. But as this system continues to trek on Sunday into Monday, and all rain, and mostly for New York, but in the far northern parts of the Northeast, ice and snow. Canada getting hit hard again for snow. Rain and snow again in the Northwest on Sunday, moving a system across the United States once again, and that will reach the upper plain states by Tuesday, January 14th, and right behind it is another system behind that, and it's just going to be wave after wave. More rain, more snow in the northern part, and then we will get to around January 17th, which we've talked about this. This is where we start to see the colder air starting to settle across much of the United States, and also we start to see a lot more winter action as well. Here's another storm system coming out of the Midwest once again. Snow and ice and rain also affiliated with this system, but more of the frozen stuff in the northern part of the states. The rain is going to stay in the Ohio Valley, Pennsylvania, and the mid-Atlantic states, but that's going to be mainly all snow for the Northeast on that particular system. That's from a system that's going to set up on the 17th. And then as we get out of here on the 19th and the 20th, right around the 21st of January, we have our next system trying to get organized, and it almost merges with moisture that's on the Atlantic side of this. And this could be potential for a heavy snowfall as well, especially living on the coastal cities. This will be your first significant snowfall on the coastal cities for the year. But January 22nd on a Wednesday, again, more snow to the Northeast. High pressure, that's because there's a lot of cold air in behind that storm front. And look at that. The cold air dips all the way past Jacksonville, folks. This is the 24th and the 25th. Not rebounding too well. By the 26th of January, we start to see temperatures return to average for the south, but that cold air is locked in place, and let's find out, shall we? There we are. That's the culprit. More Arctic air coming in from Canada, or I should say from the Arctic. Here we're on the 13th. I want to get to the 17th just to show you what I was talking about, where winter really is going to be kicking in here. Here we are, 16th, 17th. That cold air blob is forcing all that mild air out of here. And northern plain states, Northeast, we could see some really cold conditions here coming up in the future. And I'm talking -0 temperatures. Already in the negative teens overnight lows on Wednesday, January 22nd across northern plain states. Look at that. These are high temperatures, folks. So we have what it looks to be here. The GFS is trying to show us that we might have a polar vortex disruption here late January as this slides further south in the United States, and that's why that mild air is being pushed so far south. This Arctic cold front is blasting the lower 48, and we are in for some really cold temperatures after the 20th of January. So winter is starting to get bumpy here around the 17th, And then we just start getting effects from the Arctic cold blast somewhere around the 20th of January and beyond. So buckle up, folks, if you live in the Midwest, the Northern Plains states, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast. Things will start to get cold, especially more in the Northern Plains and the Northeast. We will see a lot colder air moving into the area. The South, you're going to get a dose of cold air for a couple of days, but still, that's quite a bit of a shock for you as well to get down the teens and 20s that far south. All right, that's going to do it for me this morning, guys. We're going to be back tonight, I should say, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We will have Lee Wheelbarger on as our special guest at 9 p.m. Don't miss it at 9 p.m. tonight. Until then, guys, we hope everyone has a great day, and we will talk soon.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.